Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to talk about reconstruction. If you own a restoration company and you're either doing reconstruction or if you're thinking about doing reconstruction, you're going to want to see this video. We're going to talk about the top 5 things that are no-nos if you're doing reconstruction. Let's go. All right guys, so before we get started, go ahead and hit the like button if you would, and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you get notified every time we drop new content, all right? So let me tell you about reconstruction as a whole. This is where I got my start. I cut my teeth. I've got tons of experience in this, and so I promise you this is not coming from something that I've never done. This is my sweet spot right here, okay? So number one, the first thing you don't need to do is you do not need to write free estimates for your reconstruction. Do not write free estimates. What does that mean? I've seen so many contractors, they'll go in and they may sign the water up, and then they'll come back and then the customer will say, how much is this gonna cost? You'll say, I don't know. You'll write up this great big old thing. The adjuster may agree to it, he may not. If the adjuster agrees to it, and you don't have them under contract yet, the customer keeps the money, you didn't get paid, just all kinds of things. And you don't need to do that. Here's how you can actually get them under contract without having a price, okay? So when you sign them up for the water, they're gonna say this: how much is this gonna cost? And your answer, not really sure, we'll take care of it for you. Would you like for us to do the reconstruction? That's it. And they're gonna say, well, how much is it gonna be? And you're gonna say, I don't know, we'll work that out with the carrier. And we won't swing a hammer until we get an agreement. That way you don't run any risk of owing a bunch of money that's not gonna be paid for. Because really guys, that's what the customer, that's all they want. They wanna know that it's gonna be paid for and everything's gonna be okay. They wanna go about their merry life, and that's what we want too. If you can just convey that to them, they're gonna be fine, okay? So again, here's how you do that. You just tell them this. Excuse me, ma'am. So here's the deal. We'll write up a scope. We'll get to an agreement with the carrier. All you got to do is sign this thing here, and it says, if you want us to do it, we'll write it up and negotiate it. And if they say, well, I don't know how much it's going to be, doesn't matter. We'll reach an agreement. And if we don't reach an agreement, you're not obligated to do anything. How does that sound? And if they won't do that, then you don't need to sign that customer, number one, okay? And then number two, you might need to sharpen up your sales skills because they probably didn't quite understand what you were doing, okay? So again, just tell the customer that you're not sure yet, but the insurance company is going to put it all back together or pay for it. You can use anybody you want. If you want to use me, I don't know what it's going to be yet. We haven't measured it. We haven't done all that. We will do all of that. I just need to know that you want us to put it back together. Do you want us to put it back together? And if they do, which they'll say yes, then you just get their commitment right there, okay? Now, if you guys don't already have that, you can put a clause in your contract for that. We've already got one too. I'll put the link down in the description. It's restorationcontracts.com. And you can actually get the templates of the contracts we use for like under $50, okay? But you need a work authorization and a reconstruction document. Those are separate, okay? But do not write that reconstruction without having them under a contract, okay? Now, the next thing that we will also have inside our reconstruction agreement is if we reach an agreement with the carrier, they would agree to pay us for the estimate or whatever. So we put a 20% breakage fee in our reconstruction document, and we've had people pay it. It's not a big deal. We're very upfront, and we would explain it to the customer as well. Again, restorationcontracts.com if you want to learn more about that. But biggest mistake, do not spend time writing that thing, scoping it, and negotiating it if you don't have them under contract, okay? Big waste of time. Number two, this is a huge no-no. Please do not start that job without collecting your money. You cannot start the job without collecting your money, okay? There's many reasons why, and so number one, you're not a bank, okay? And so the insurance company needs to pay for the stuff, that's cool, but they're gonna pay for it. And if you start that, like, the first problem with it is this: if you start a job and you pull off that job for any reason, then you might be in breach of your own contract, okay? And so you need to be aware of that. And if something happens and you need to get paid and you have to take them to court or try and put a lien on their house or whatever it might be, like, you run the risk of not ever getting paid and you still haven't collected any money, okay? If you start that job legally, you can't just stop it at any given point. Now, it doesn't mean you can't, but I'm just saying there are repercussions. Every state's a little bit different. Know this, much safer just not start the job, okay? Now, if you wanna know how you get around that, just tell the customer this when you sign them up. Ma'am, we'll be glad to help you at any given point. We just need to get the thing approved and we need to collect the money. And then the customer will understand that and they'll quit pushing. Now, that leads me to my second point of 2.2, which is this. If you don't tell them that, your customer's going to talk to the adjuster and the conversation is going to go like this. When can they get started? And then Mr. Adjuster is going to say, they can get started right now. This is going to be covered. We got this. Just tell them to get started. I'll pay them. That may be true, may not be true, may be partly true. He didn't say how much, he didn't say when. And you need to know how much and you need to know when, okay? So you don't want the adjuster to tell the customer to get started because now the customer just wants you to get started, okay? And we just told you in 2.1, if you start and then you stop, you run the risk of breaking your own contract, okay? So the way you get around that is just tell the customer, we'll start once we get the approval and once we have the funds in hand. Okay, so make sure you've done that. The last reason on why you would not start a job without collecting the funds is this. There might be a mortgage company involved, and if they put the mortgage company on the check, which happens a lot in jobs that are over $10,000 or $15,000, it could take anywhere from several days to several months to get their name off the check. And I've had situations where we were owed $50,000, $60,000 and we'd been waiting 70, 80, 90, 120 days for payment. And guys, that hurts, and that can put you out of business, okay? So do not start a job without getting paid first, okay? That simple. All right, guys, this brings me to number 3. The third thing that you have to do is you got to make sure that the customer knows you're working off of one scope of work, okay? Now, if you're writing an estimate and the adjuster's writing an estimate, that's pretty common. Those two estimates may not line up, okay? So the adjuster may write his scope and he's going to cut a check based on what his is, and you're going to write a scope based on what yours is, and there might be several situations that the adjuster might do this. They might say, Shane, I can't pay that much for the flooring. I can't pay that much for the cabinets. I want this to get done. I like these people. I like you. I want this to happen. So here's the deal. Your estimate is $18,200. I can't write it the way that you wrote it to get to $18,200, but I can put an extra pod on this, or I can write for this or that. And I don't care if you do it or not. And that will equal 18.2, and you just take that money. How about that? And then on your side, you might have the scope. Maybe you've got a pod. Maybe your pod isn't as expensive as his, or maybe he says you're going to take out an entire wall of drywall and you're only going to take out a little bit, but he's altering what is going to happen so that he can get his quantity to match what your estimate is. Here's what I'm telling you. Your estimate and your scope of work needs to match exactly with what's going to happen. Do not alter yours like they might do theirs. The customer needs to know that whatever yours reads, that's what's going to get done. And if your pricing is higher or lower, or if they can't pay for this item or they can't pay for that item, that's their problem, not yours. You need to be 100% crystal clear certain that you tell your customer, we're going to do this, which is your scope, for this amount at the bottom of the estimate. Please do that, okay? I've had times before to where we've had those same situations. There's multiple scopes. There might be an independent, and then there might be a desk adjuster. There might be more than one estimator writing estimates. There's different revisions. You go off of your estimate and do not alter the scope of work to match what you need for your pricing. Your pricing is your pricing. Let them do what they got to do. Make sure the customer is working off of your scope of work and your estimate, okay? If you don't understand that, drop a comment. I'd be glad to tell you more, okay? So, number 4, here's the other thing that I wish I'd have known when I got started. I was earlier just thinking 10 and 10 was enough, and 10 and 10 is not enough money for you to make money in reconstruction. And not only is it not enough, you're not bound by that, guys. You're not bound by that. And whoever says, well, that's what the insurance industry norm is a load of garbage. That is a lie that they have tried to make everybody to swallow, because if they make everybody believe that it is the norm and it becomes the norm, then now it is the norm. It is not the norm. It is not, okay? There are many cases to where a normal contractor might do the work, not a restoration company. And if you bring in a guy that doesn't know anything about restoration, they're telling him that it has to go this way. And he's just some 50-year-old dude from North Carolina. He's like, I don't know what you guys are doing. It's going to be this amount and that's it. And that's what he's going to charge. And he's going to write it that way. And he doesn't give a crap what xactimate is or what it says, okay? So that's still restoration, you understand? That happens every day. It happens every day. So don't be sucked into the lie that it has to be 10 and 10, and it has to be written just this way. Is it true that it's easier to write it in xactimate? Sure, probably, maybe, but know that every case is gonna be different. I'm telling you this now because I don't know where you are in your journey, okay? You might be just getting started, you may be 8 years in. At any point, the scales can fall from your eyes. I'm telling you, nobody has the end-all be-all everything to all of the scenarios, because I've been doing this for a long time and I do it my way, and half the time they say I'm a crook and half the time there's no question at all. So what do? I can tell you this, guys, they're very inconsistent in what they do and how they do it. So you need to develop your own process and stick to that. You understand? Stick to your own process, stick to your own pricing, know your cost. Okay, know your cost, but do not believe that 10 and 10 is all you can ever make. Now, how do you need to go about negotiating it? You always want to write your estimate for as much as you can. Why do you want to get paid as much as you can? Because you don't know which subs you're going to use, right? You're going to have 3 different crews, right? More than likely, or 4 different crews of flooring and trim, paint, drywall guys. Like, each one's going to charge a little bit different rate. And even if they're not charging different rates, if they charge the exact same rate and all 3 guys come give you numbers, they're all 3 going to give you different numbers, okay? And so for that reason, you need to make sure that your profitability is all based on the most expensive number that you could possibly get, okay? And once you get that settled, that's it. And now your job after that is packaging that job up as cheap as possible, okay? And let's say this, 10 and 10 markup anyway, only equates to about a 15%, 16% profit margin, okay? We would run close to a 40% margin, okay? If it wasn't a 40% margin, then we wouldn't take the job. And what a margin would be is not markup. And I can go to a different video explaining all that, but basically it's this: take your cost, multiply it times 2, that's a 50% margin. Okay, cost times 2 is 50% margin. So you need to be aiming for 40% margin. And so on a $10,000 job, that'd be $6,000 of expenses, $4,000 of profit, okay? You run the numbers on 10 and 10, it won't equal anywhere near that. And it doesn't have to, and it doesn't need to, okay? But I just don't want, hear me this, 10 and 10 is not enough, and you don't have to live on that, okay? Now, here's the 5th and final piece that I wish I'd have known a little bit earlier. I had this mindset thing that I had to do the reconstruction or I wasn't gonna get the job. Number 5, do not think that the only way that you're gonna get your water damage jobs is if you offer reconstruction, okay? Or put another way, don't think you have to do reconstruction to be profitable, okay? Phrase that however you want, but I'll say this: if you're looking to get out of reconstruction, it's real simple. Rip off the Band-Aid. The longer that you keep the needle in the vein, you're gonna be dependent upon the reconstruction. And the reason that recon winds up being a problem for a lot of people is you get paid up front, right? That's great in many cases, but then the jobs lag on, and most of the headaches come from reconstruction. If you're not doing a great job at reconstruction and customer service, you're gonna find it to be a pretty painful experience, okay? And that's gonna happen for everybody. And it would even happen for us at times. That's the reason why we wanted to hit 40% margins, because at least then it was worth it, okay? If you're getting yelled at and screamed at for 10 and 10, nope, ain't gonna work. So here's what I would say to you. If you wanna get out of reconstruction, you just focus on getting more water, guys. And if you wanna know more about that, you can go to workwithshane.com and I can tell you more about it. But the sooner that you say, screw it, I'm gonna get off this thing, the sooner that you will be able to force yourself in the corner and get it done. If you're a business owner, I can tell you this: there's always ups and downs, and there's times that we don't know if it's gonna be okay, and we get worried, but it always works out, okay? And if you're like me, whenever you get your back up against the wall, that's when we typically perform the best, okay? So just rip the Band-Aid off and go for it. If you're never willing to rip off the Band-Aid, you're always gonna leave that thing on there, and you're gonna get burnt out, you're gonna start to hate your company, hate your job, hate your life. Do not do that, okay? So hopefully you guys found that helpful. And if you guys, again, you want to know more, you can have down in the links, down in the comments below, there's a link to restoration contracts. You can hop on a call, workwithshane.com. You got more questions about restoration, do let me know. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.